I'm SAC Kaylee Murray. I'm an ICT Specialist in the Royal Air Force. I'm based at RAF Wittering. Basically, an ICT Specialist is an Information Communication Technology Specialist. We basically deal with all the IT equipment on stations and on deployment. We look after the networks, the servers, the hardware, the software. So you've got your day-to-day running of IT equipment on station, but then there is the other varied roles where you are deployed to Iraq, Afghanistan, and you are first in normally to get the equipment set up so that we can communicate back to the UK from wherever we are in the world, basically. So we've got a stable communication between UK and where we are. I was quite a girly girl at school, so I was never really thought about joining the forces. My dad was in the army, so I knew what kind of life it was, but it never appealed to me because I was such a girly girl and thought that it would be too guyish for me to do that. And I never really looked at an IT job, really. And then when I left school, I went to college for a year. And in that time at college, I was starting, obviously, my eyes were opening to the jobs that were available to me. And none of them really seemed exciting enough for me. They didn't really give me that thing that I wanted. So I went to the Armed Forces Careers Office just to see what was there to offer, and that's when I came across the RAF. And they told me about the ICT Specialist role. And then immediately I was drawn to that and wanted to do that. And then when they talked about the travelling and, you know, not being in one place for a long period of time, that really made me want to do what I'm doing now. The RAF itself, I think, isn't just a job, it is actually a lifestyle. When you initially join up, most people live in the block on the unit. You have your own room, it's like a flat, really. And so you work with the people, you live with the people, you socialise with the people every day. So it's more like a family, as cliche as it may sound. You do form that bond because you're working with each other, you're put in situations that you're not normally put in situations with. And you learn to be there for each other, and then you go out. There's bowling camps on the units, there's cinemas, there's bars, there's a lot of sport activities that take place. So you may play netball for the RAF, so you have a team and you go to St Lucia for 3 weeks playing netball. So it's, you know, you have that social side is really a big thing, I think, in the RAF. My dad was in the army for 22 years, and my dad was my sole carer, and my dad looked after me. So me and my dad formed a really close relationship as I grew older, and I believe watching him in the army doing the job that he was doing and going away, maybe in the back of my mind was always a part of what I wanted to do, because that's what I knew. And he's always been really encouraging, because in any job I think there is going to be times when you do have your down days and you don't want to be doing it. My dad has always been the one that's like, keep your chin up, you know, it's worth it. And he's right, the goods outweigh the bads, and he's the person that's inspired me the most. In the near future, I want to progress through the ranks. So I want to become a corporal, I want to be promoted and be a junior NCO in the RAF. A bit later on, once I have experience being a junior NCO, maybe think about going for my commission and being an officer in the RAF. Possibly an engineering officer, because it would be dealing with the same kind of job that I'm doing now, but at an officer level. But I do want to stay in the RAF, and I want to make that my career.